To make everything fit and look correct on Project Impreza, I had to cut the rear of the car into 3 pieces to widen it so that this section where the tail lights go and the new C-pillar would line up with the side of the existing car. The problem with doing that is that the hatch also has to be widened, and as it is right now, I have a gap in there of about 1.5 inches on each side. So the process is that I'm going to split the gate here and up here and move this section out and then reskin the back door. The first step is going to be to strip all the paint off and make some measurements. That way I get everything even left to right, and then I will get to cutting this door and fit the door to the taillights. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment on my videos. Also, check out PayPal and Patreon. I am on Patreon as Pseudo Mechanic. That's pseudo_mechanic. Also on PayPal. I have a Facebook page as well, also at pseudo_mechanic. So you can get all the information and photos and things that are not in the videos on Patreon and also on Facebook. I've removed paint from the rear door of the Impreza and marked where I'm going to cut it. The way that I selected this distance is that I looked on the inside of the door where the trim sits and aimed at the edge of the direct flat spot. So you see the trim is flat and straight for a pretty good distance, and then it curves. So I marked where this sits on the inside of the door. That way when I cut it and extend it, I have 2 flat surfaces to work with. And on the top there is no flat surface, so I got as close as I could to the hinge without cutting into the hinge plate itself. So when I put the rear fenders on the car, to match the existing middle of the rear fenders, I had to rotate both pieces outward slightly at the back. That's not why it doesn't fit. It's that they were moved out this way and then tilted slightly. So when I relocate the outer piece of the door, it will have the same effect. Both pieces will be slightly tilted out, and that'll allow everything to fit as original. Now I am going to have to make at least this lower piece of the skin and maybe this upper piece to get the lines to flow, because there's a curve that goes the entire width of the back of the car. And to make everything look right, I will probably reskin it, but for now I'm going to get everything structural to where the door opens and closes and everything stays where it's supposed to be, and then I'll work on the aesthetics of the skin. So I have the first half of the door cut and split. It is supported at the top, middle, and bottom. It's still a little bit loose, but it holds it enough that I can work on the other side. And once I get the other side supported, I will start building the skin that'll join the 2 sections together, and then I'll go on the inside of the door and add some square tube structural support so that the door is more rigid. These doors are very floppy until the glass is glued in, and since I'm not going to be using a standard piece of glass, I'm going to have to add some more reinforcement. The reason I'm not using a piece of glass is that this is now wider, has a different shape, it has a strange curve at the top, So I'm going to finish it more like a standard hatchback, where it'll have a piece of metal at the top that is painted either black or the same color as the body, and then it'll have a spoiler over that. So the visibility will be exactly the same as original, because I am not making the window any smaller. In fact, it's slightly more because the window is wider. But the window that I make will fit inside the place where the molding normally goes, and I will finish it off on the inside with a type of molding like a windshield molding or a side window molding on a station wagon for windows that are fixed but are flush. So now I'm going to get to putting some supports in this and then work on building the skin.